who is here to give you a gigantic hug, to tell you that not only is Am Yisrael with you, but Addis Israel, Adat Yisrael is with you. We are your Am Yisrael right now. We're here to be your voice and shoulders that you can walk on. And what you need from us, we want to give you. And so please tell us about your loved ones. Tell us who they are. And then you can tell us what you need from us. And we are here to listen. So.
Maybe we'll just start by saying Shabbat Shalom to everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yael, and this is my husband, Adi. We live in Tenafly, New Jersey. We drove here 2 days ago. It all started in October 7th, when I've been in Tel Aviv, actually, with my family. I came to visit my son, Edan. He's in the IDF, he's lone soldier, he's in Golani. And I told him, listen, Edan, I'm coming to celebrate Sukkot with you. So ask your commander if you have some spare time, like, to be with me. He told me, okay, I'm gonna speak with them. He got 2 days, only 2 days to be with me, and it was wow. We've done everything together. We went back to the base on Tuesday, and I was in touch with him by text, phone calls, whatever. We were in the same time zone. I was happy. He was thrilled that I'm there. Everything is fine. And then on Saturday, October 7th, in the morning, I'm sleeping, have jet lag. My dad is entering my room and is telling me, Yael, it's 6:30 a.m., there is alarm, you need to come to the safe room with us. And I'm like, what? I'm sleeping. The first thing that I'm doing, I'm texting to Edan. I knew he's in the Gaza border, guarding over there on a small base. There was some bombing and alarm, and I'm like, Edan, what's going on with you? Are you safe? And he's telling me, don't worry, Mom. We have a lot of bombing here, but I'm safe. Everything is fine. So I'm okay. I'm going to the safe house with my family, safe room with my family and everyone in the building. We live in Tel Aviv, so we need to go to the staircase. Never mind. Pretty scary. Anyway, the second alarm, again, I'm texting to Edan. Like every time that I'm just texting him like crazy, and then he's calling me. And he's speaking with me and telling me that the situation is bad here. It's hectic. I see stuff, Mom. I see stuff. He's telling me. He starts speaking English. When he's uncomfortable, he starts speaking with me like in his language. And I'm telling him, okay, don't just protect yourself. Please be brave. Everything will be okay. I love you. And just be in touch, because he was like pumped and all. I could feel he's really busy. And since then, nothing. I'm texting him, my parents texting him. My parents are Shomrei Shabbat. They are not doing this kind of stuff on Shabbat. And my dad took the phone and he's also texting, and nothing came through since then. It's tough. It's really hard not to know what's going on with your son, not to know what's going on. Like, I'm speaking with people. Where is my son? Why I'm feeling here that he's alive? Why you can find him? Please tell me what's going on. Adi came with our kids, with Mika. She's 17. She's a senior, and my son Roy is 12. They came to Tel Aviv to spend the time with me, with the family, because I told him something's wrong, something off. I don't know what's going on, but we need to be together. So we wait, I think, 6 long days, 6 terrible days, till the announcement came to our home, and 2 officers came and said to us, okay, your son is held by Hamas, he's in Gaza, and they were like quiet. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, breathing, okay guys, it's good news. We have hope now. We know that America is gonna work and do whatever they can to bring him back home to us, because it's like, it's unreal. He just graduated high school from Tenafly. He's 19. He came in August to be with us in Tenafly because all his friends came from college and want to spend time with their brother, like Edan. So it's unbelievable, the situation.
So it will be appropriate to mention that our kids actually grew up in Maryland, in Silver Spring, Rockwell. We used to live here.
Yeah.
We moved up to Jersey back in 2008. So we feel really like connection to this place because we started here.
Yeah.
So yep,
With Edan.
with Edan.
That's it. We had the whole 2 last days in DC, full of meetings. We met the vice president this morning. It was a surprise for us. They didn't told us it's gonna happen, but it did. And she hugs us and she's telling us and I believe her that she's gonna bring my son home, Edan's home, she's gonna bring everyone's home because this is the right thing to do, right? And I'm feeling very hopeful and
Absolutely.
he's got.
Again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm really appreciated that you want to see us and to hear us, and thank you so much.
Again, Shabbat Shalom. So I'm a Jewish kid from Flatbush. When Flatbush used to be Flatbush, huh? Like to say I'm the proud outcome of the New York public education system. Moved to Tel Aviv about 25 years ago, have 3 boys. But before talking about Itay, I just want to touch something, the concept of family. Okay, so, now we are now family. Okay, this is our family now. We live in a different universe that nobody wants to be a part of. You guys are family, and family is a concept that we need to remember, and I'm sure when every one of you has its family events, if it's a anniversary or a birthday, you want to celebrate it with your intimate family members. So Itay, we have Alon, who's Itay's younger brother. And 2 weeks ago, Alon was destined to celebrate his bar mitzvah for Parashat Bereshit. And we had a dilemma. So Alon was studying for his bar mitzvah. And of course, we wanted it to be with all of our intimate family members, as anyone would probably want. And we thought what we should do. At the end, we made a decision that Alon should have a positive recollection of his bar mitzvah. And like here, this community, we also have our community, and we had so many people know about the bar mitzvah because of the dilemma that in the synagogue that Saturday morning, we had, I think, about 1,000 people. Like the synagogue was packed more than Yom Kippur. You know, it was like packed. And there were people that came into the synagogue that told me, I haven't been to a synagogue for over a decade, some even more. But they said we needed to be together, that family concept of just, I wanted to come in, give you a hug, you and your family, keep on doing what you're doing. And so Alon, indeed, you know, went up to the Torah, did what he was supposed to do, very loud voice. He was, you know, psyched up as well for all those people that were there. And the way that I think of it, you know, all of those people that came in, you know, especially those that never come to synagogue, it's a mitzvah, right? Coming on a Saturday and listening to the Torah and B'chat HaKohanim. So at least how I view it, you know, it falls on Itay's, you know, benefit, right? For the guy upstairs. So I hope, you know, that, you know, all that good that we did, hopefully, you know, he got some energy coming up back to him, especially when, you know, in this situation, unfortunately, Hamas does not abide by international, you know, law of Hag, of letting any visitation. Doctors are not allowed to come in. So they're, you know, all by themselves, 21 days. Let me say it again, 21 days. 21 days. So we hope that we will be able to celebrate that bar mitzvah again in the family that we wanted to. And we've gotten many invitations from different communities to come and celebrate that bar mitzvah again. Hopefully, we'll be able to come here again soon with this community and have a bar mitzvah that, you know, Alon and Itay will remember and benefit and enjoy just as much as the one that it was supposed to have. Bring them back home. Bring them back home.
Thank you. Hi, Erev Tov, Shabbat Shalom. My name is Yehudah. I live on Kibbutz Shemrat together with my wife. My daughter and her husband are residents of Kibbutz Nir Oz in the south. I would perhaps like to spare the gory details of how they fell into Hamas captivity, although their official designation by the army is that they're probably abducted. To this day, we still don't have a definitive definition of what their status is. Two things, very, very quickly. My grandson was in his room when the terrorists entered his apartment, and he was able to survive the ordeal by holding the door of his safe room closed. He was simply stronger than the terrorist who was trying to open the door, and in that manner, he managed to save his life, basically. My daughter was abducted from her home. Following the abduction, they killed the family dog and set fire to the house. My son-in-law was part of the first response unit, and he was out trying to confront the terrorists, but the first response unit was vastly outnumbered and vastly outgunned. And the assumption is that at some point he was taken to Gaza as a prisoner because his body wasn't found anywhere in the area of the kibbutz, and so far not in any area between the border between Israel and Gaza, even though the conditions are very difficult to scan the area. So their destination remains as probably abducted. The bottom line of what has been defined as the massacre at Kibbutz Nir Oz, because it was indeed a massacre, the terrorists were executing babies, raping women, killing them, killing their husbands, and those that they didn't rape or kill or execute were dragged off to Gaza as hostages. 25% of the kibbutz is either dead or missing or killed. Dead, killed, yes.
That sounds,
Executed, actually. Some people were actually burned. They were in their safe rooms and they were burned alive, basically, by the terrorists. This is all terrible and represents a level of depravity that is beyond comprehension in any way, shape, or form. And to make it very clear that our primary concern at this point in time is the return of the hostages from Gaza. However, together with that, based on a number of conversations that I've had this week with Senator Murphy from Connecticut, Senator Van Hollen from Maryland, these were one-on-one conversations that relatives of mine had managed to arrange for me. After my presentation of the horrors, the factual horrors that befell my daughter and son-in-law's kibbutz, I wanted to go a little bit further down the line to talk about the day after. At some point, this story, this horrible story, is going to come to an end, one way or the other. It's not clear at this point. But the question remains that, like Am Yisrael, life goes on. And the question is, then what do we do? President Biden, in a conversation with our families, demonstrated, first of all, heartfelt sympathy. There should be no question, no doubt whatsoever of the president's expression of sympathy and identification with our plight and the plight of Jews everywhere. If anybody had any doubts, you can be rest assured there was no light between President Biden and the Jewish people on this issue. He expressed his understanding of the situation, an understanding which I feel that I can agree with fully. The bottom line being that at the end of the day, Hamas is not going to be a part of any kind of solution in the Middle East. This organization has to come to an end. And I think that all of the American aid to Israel is actually a way of helping Israel and the United States to achieve that end. Because we know that Hamas represents a fanatical, messianic, religious outlook as a political agenda, in a sentence. But after all this is over, we're still left with the fact that between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea, we have lots of Jews, lots of Arabs who somehow need to find a way to live together. And I noticed that in general, the organizations and non-government organizations and even politicians fail to grasp that these NGOs should probably have more of a exposure on the forefront for the work that lies ahead to be done. So I would hope that the American Jewish community understands that the concept that guided the governments of the current prime minister has basically proven to be a colossal failure, and that another approach is required. One that features rapprochement and mutual understanding, mutual recognition. So, while it's very important to keep in mind that the number one priority right now is to release the hostages, to gain the release of the hostages, but at some point there will be a day after. And the American Jewish community needs to understand that, to my mind, that Israel has been on a wrong path up until now, and it's required for a new path. And I might add that the Palestinian Authority has also not been completely innocent here, and bear some responsibility, or a lot of responsibility, for the situation. People need to learn how to come together. I relayed this message to Senator Murphy, Senator Van Hollen. They were surprised that I was even capable of thinking about that at the time that my daughter and her husband are captive in Gaza. But that just represents my upbringing. I'm a graduate of Hashomer Tzair. I can't deny that. It's how I ended up living on a kibbutz, my wife and I. And by the way, I think that it's important for the Jewish community in the United States to know that there is now a big catharsis in Israeli society where you have secular and religious people coming together like never before, people from left and right coming together like never before. And I can illustrate this very simply by the fact, even though I'm a secular leftist, I have no issue wearing a kippah in the synagogue today. I have no issue. Whereas in Israel, the kippah had come to become a political statement. And we need to learn that that is not the future if we're to respect our traditions. Because Judaism as a political expression is a very dangerous path to go down. And I think that the Talmud teaches us this very clearly. So I hope the lessons have been learned. I hope that the people of Israel will continue to manage to come together. As I spoke with my wife this morning, she's in Liat with the remnants of Kibbutz Nir Oz, and said that people are piping mad in Israel from wall to wall. And I hope that, actually in the words of President Biden, when he said that what was is not what will be. And I believe he really means it. Thank you very much to all of you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Just quickly, we are here for a reason. We are here to be your voice. We are here to support you. What can we do? What should we do? What will we do?
We have some ideas.
Yeah, we have some ideas, but before that, I didn't speak much about Itay, and I don't know any Jewish mom or dad that they give them a mic to talk about their kid and doesn't say a few things, so bear with me for a few minutes, and then I'll talk about what we would request from this community. So Itay was brought up, to give to the community. He was in the Boy Scouts until the age of 18, giving back a lot. He was a basketball player. If you look at me, it's not like, we had any thoughts of him going to the NBA, but nevertheless, he did play against much taller kids and much bigger kids, physical kids, but he never backed down. I like to say that, that's part of New York toughness, Flatbush. So, yeah, we tough people. We tough. Mike Tyson tough. Itay always wanted to give. He has a loving girlfriend that they've been dating for about 6 months. So I also hope that also gives him that energy to come back to her as well. He also was at a base, attacked. They were outnumbered. It was pretty simple. At the beginning, after 24 hours, the IDF said he's missing in action, basically saying we have no idea where he is. After 5 days, we got that knock on the door. I don't know if you know what that means. So you have 6 o'clock in the morning, you have 2 officers sitting on the other side. You don't want to open that door. Okay. So they come in and they say, you could go back and breathing again. So the good case scenario of that conversation is that our son is abducted. At least the indications that they have is that he's abducted and he's in Gaza being held hostage. And that's where we are the last, give or take, 2 weeks. So where do we go from here? So delegation of families came in. There were 2 other delegations as well. But we are not here local. Right? We could go in. We had a lot of meetings with senators and the vice president, congressmen from across both sides of the aisle. I think it's a bipartisan issue and should stay that way. But at the end of the day, the way that this ecosystem works, at least to what I understand, today it's a topic. Today people want to talk to us and we get interviewed and it's the agenda of the administration. But next week something else happens, right? And then there's another topic. But what we need you guys to do is to, in that morning ritual that you do your coffee, make a phone call to your congressman, senator. Just say something simple, like day 22. Oh, and I'm going to call tomorrow as well. Okay? Keep it on top of the agenda. Have them know that this is something that this community cares about, that it's not a topic that should go away, and you expect or even demand your congressman, your senator, to put this at the top of his agenda. That's what we should request you guys to do. Hopefully you feel compelled to act on our behalf. Because again, we're heading back to Tel Aviv, Tenafly, wherever.
Hi. In continuing from Ruby's words, I actually forgot to mention my daughter is a high school history and civics teacher and a youth educator. She's also a tour guide at Yad Vashem one day a week. This seems to be one of her areas of expertise. She's also responsible for organizing trips to Poland from high school when the kids visit concentration camps to learn about that aspect of our history. My son-in-law is the manager of the agricultural garage. Is responsible for a lot of very large machinery. The kibbutz has like 4,000 acres of land where they grow peanuts and potatoes. Unfortunately, those machines, tractors, are now in Gaza for some inexplicable reason. One of the points, first of all, what the things that Ruby said are absolutely correct. I agree wholeheartedly. It's important to keep the topic hot. We've had many sessions with people from the FBI and from the State Department, and we've had many questions, how to handle all of this, and this is clearly their advice in terms of how to operate. Which, by the way, I must remark that the way it began for us in Israel was that we were requested to contact the embassy on Sunday, actually, which is a day the embassy is not usually working. But in this particular case, the embassy was open on Sunday. There was a number that was possible to contact, and we were, or at least in my case, and I imagine other cases as well, we were immediately taken up by embassy personnel. The information about our family members, the relevant information about our family, they took up the relevant information about our family members, passed it on to the Justice Department and to the State Department, and within days we've been contacted by the FBI because since the Hamas is defined as a terror organization, crime was committed against American citizens. So as far as the Justice Department is concerned, there's a criminal case to be had here. And their competence and the speed with which they reacted was unbelievable in my experience. I've never seen anything like this before. Immediate, real-time, professional, exemplary behavior on the part of people from the FBI and from the State Department. We were assigned a caseworker from the FBI, a caseworker from the State Department, a caseworker from the embassy, and these people were constantly in contact with us all the time, sometimes even twice a day. When compared to the performance on the Israeli side, well, let's put it this way. In Israel, we're not used to criticizing the government when we're outside the country, so we'll cut it there. Anyway, if anybody had any doubts as to the ability of the administration to function in the light of such a colossal tragedy, you can be rest assured that their performance was exemplary. Okay, Rubi.
Call for action.
Yeah, a call for action. I don't know. I have to. Among the things that we were told is that it is upon us to keep this topic hot. I agree with Rubi wholeheartedly. What he said is absolutely correct. These were instructions that we got from the State Department. It's not something that we made up here. So it's like in an official way that this is what needs to be done. The topic needs to be kept hot. It's as simple as that.
Can we do that? Before you